Hey, what's up guys, it's Zant here, and I know I'm a little bit late with this video, but today's video is going to be my top favorite edits of 2014. So, I just want to let you guys know before I start, these are not my edits, these are edits from other editors in the community, and they're the ones that I feel were the best of 2014. Well, not necessarily the best, but the ones I thought were my favorite and I enjoyed the most. So links to these editors' channels and the individual edits will be down in the description. And I was originally going to do kind of like a top 5 thing for this, where I just find my top 5 favorite edits of this year, but I couldn't really narrow it down to 5, so I've got 8 here on my list in front of me, and I'm going to read through it and just tell you guys what I think about the edit and just give a little brief little summary of it. And on the screen I'm probably just going to show the thumbnail of the edit, so after you watch this video, please be sure to check down the description for the links to these edits so you can watch them yourself. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. So coming in at number 8 is Obey's Infinite 2 Teamtage by multiple editors. It says on the title of this Teamtage that it's edited by FaZe Agony, but actually, if you watch till the end, it has a kind of like a credits type thing, and there's actually way more editors that were involved with this, and I feel like those editors did most of the work with this. So I'm just going to call this by multiple editors. But I kind of was debating on putting this on the list or not because the edit isn't that crazy as far as the gameplay editing stuff goes, but some of the 3D work in this thing is actually insane. I know Uncell and a few other editors did some 3D work for this, and that's what really made this edit. And this is the one thing I've always kind of liked about Obey, is that for their huge teamtages, they always do these huge epic ones that just stand out. And this was definitely one of them. So for this one, I want to say that I put this on the list just because of the pure enjoyment factor of this. Just the fact that it's like, holy shit, this is a 10-minute epic montage. That's crazy. Even though I did like Infinite 1 a lot better than Infinite 2, this was still one of the biggest and best teamtages of this year, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. So that's why I gave it number 8. And I can't wait to see if they end up doing an Infinite 3 for Advanced Warfare or some shit like that. So, that was the number 8 spot. Coming at number 7, we have Simple Man 3 by Final Moment. So this is an edit that I don't think really many people know about. It's on the Verum channel, so if you're subbed to them, you've probably seen it. And Final Moment is one of the leaders of Verum, so if you follow Verum and all them, you probably know about this edit. But this is probably my favorite edit that I've seen on the Verum channel. It was just a really chill edit. It had a really nice vibe to it. The song was kind of like a rap song that kind of felt like kind of an older vibe to it. It had like this trumpet line in the background, and it just had a really classy kind of feel to it. And the flow of the edit was absolutely insane. It was all MW2, and even some of the 3D work. I remember one of my favorite parts of this was, you know how they have the helicopters on High Rise? He actually had like this helicopter like landing on his landing pad there, and that was just really cool. Just stuff like that was really what I thought made this edit. But some of the other stuff, just the syncing and the effects, everything about this edit was just beautiful, and it was really enjoyable to watch. And I go back and watch this almost every time I go to the Verum channel because I think they still have sticky to the front page. So yeah, that's number 7. For number 6, we have Finale by FaZe Feeks. Now this is a FaZe Rain montage that went up on the FaZe channel, I believe a few months before 2015 dropped. I almost said 14, but this is probably one of my favorite edits ever. I should have put this one higher on the list, and I was really debating about it, but there's so many good edits I had to put on here. And this edit, I feel, is what my style is, sort of. Like, I want my style to be somewhat like this style. But now I feel like I'm kind of moving away from that. But it was to one of my favorite songs I've ever edited to, and that is High Tide by Lemaitre, and I think it's some remix of it. I can't remember exactly what remix it is, but it is probably my favorite song I've ever edited to, and the edit that I actually did with it was a scrapped edit. But this edit is amazing. Feeks does this style perfectly, and I truly think he really makes use of the fact that he can use Lemaitre's music now that he's in FaZe, because, you know, they have licenses to use it. And he did an amazing job with this. And this song also has the Flume versus Lord song in it towards the second part, but I really enjoyed the first part of this a lot more just because I absolutely love the song. And some of the cool stuff about this, the color correction was beautiful, probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. It was just colorful but not over the top, and a lot of the PC cinematics too were also recorded, well, PC obviously, but he used a really nice configuration to make it so kind of like, this is the first time I ever seen this actually. It looks like there was lights shining up under the characters in the cinematics, and that's actually something I've kind of learned to do now, but that was the first time I ever saw it, and that was just crazy, and I was like, how the shit does he do that? And I just really love this edit, so props to you, Feeks. That is the number 6 spot. So coming in at number 5 is probably one of my favorite editors of all time, and that's Ancel with his The Other Side edit. Now this was a pretty short edit actually. It was kind of like, I want to call it a one clip edit, but it was kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of more than that, but it was one clip. This is a very chilled vibe edit, and it's one of those ones, kind of like Simple Man 2, that just has this really kind of chilled and kind of classy feeling song in it to just really mellow edit. So the whole premises of this edit was just these two characters facing off, and then the sniper guy does a trick shot on this second guy, and it's just a very simple and clean edit, but I don't know what it is about it. It just came together so perfectly, and I really loved it. It has some pretty impressive stuff in there. You know, Ancel's always fancy with his depth of field mapping, and that was present here as well. And it was just one of my favorite edits of 2014, and it made the list as number 5. So coming in at number 4 for my favorite edits of 2014 is Phoenix by Baker. So when this edit came out, I actually remember this moment very vividly. I was sitting at Ike's, which is a dining hall at my school, on the laptop on Skype, and Baker posted it in the Myth chat, and I clicked it, and I was like, holy shit, this edit's awesome. So it's kind of to a kind of more expressive-ish electronic song called Phoenix, and that's kind of where you get the idea for the edit. But the edit's based around kind of the Phoenix, which is kind of like this bird of fire, and he had this character, an MW2 character, that had these fiery wings, and every time he shot, this big circle of fire went out from the gun, and it looked so cool, and it just flowed so perfectly. And the OCC for that week was Underpass from MW2, but it had a config on it to make it look like it was at sunset instead of the dark and dreary, rainy Underpass we all know. So I think he did an amazing job with this. There were a ton of Easter eggs in it, which I haven't found them all yet, even though I've watched this probably about 30 times. But definitely one of my favorite edits of 2014. It made the list for number 4. So coming at number 3, I was debating making this one my number 1 because I really liked the style in this edit. But for number 3, we have See No Evil by Cookie. So this is one of those other edits I feel like not too many people have seen. It was up on Fractal, but I just never hear people talking about this edit that much. But I think it's probably one of the best edits that's ever been up on Fractal. And this edit had a very dark feel to it. A lot of the effects and stuff were just dark. Like the opening cinematic is really what like kind of opened my eye to this edit. I clicked on it. I think I clicked on an accident one day when I was just scrolling through the Fractal channel because I didn't see this one until a while after it went up. But the first cinematic was like drone on Black Ops 2 at night, and it's raining. I was like, whoa. Okay, so that's cool. And then I keep going on. It keeps showing these nighttime versions of these maps that just look so perfect. And then there's this other part where it was on standoff, the guy's running around with the KSG, and then for a frame it flashes with him like with these really dark wings, and then it just shows this guy with dark wings and black eyes and shit, and like dark smoke all around him. It's just crazy shit like that. And this edit just had so many dark motifs in it, and it just came together so perfectly, and I just really love this edit. I really like dark edits that have that kind of vibe to it, and I feel like this is probably my favorite edit of that kind of style. And it was good enough to take number 3 on my top list for this year. So, yeah, See No Evil by Cookie, great edit, number 3 for my list. Coming in at number 2, this is also one, these top 3, I really had a hard time deciding which one to make 1, 2, and 3. But for number 2, we have Scale It Back by Cristo. And if you know me, you know that Cristo is probably my favorite editor. I've always talking about this, how his style is like the style I wish I could do, like, perfectly. And his style is just so clean and beautiful, and all of his edits are beautiful, but this one was probably my favorite edit he's ever done. So this edit was his SOAR recruitment challenge response, and this got him into SOAR, and he did this when he was in DARE. And it's just a beautiful edit. It's like a pure episode style edit. Like, it's no crazy effects or anything, just completely beautiful flow and beautiful syncing, and everything about this edit is just so perfect. and it got him into SOAR for it, and now he's in red actually. So props to him. And Cristo is one of my favorite editors, and I'm probably gonna say he is my favorite Call of Duty editor of all time, just because his style and everything about it is just so clean and perfect. And this edit was no exception. This is edit I've probably watched at least 200 times, just because I love it. And the song, I've really wanted to edit this song, but it is copyrighted, and I can't do it as an episode edit. But this edit was just absolutely beautiful, and mad props to Cristo for this edit. It was just amazing. So finally, coming in at the #1 spot for my favorite edit of 2014 is Clockwork 3 by Nikki HD. And people are going to immediately ask, well, didn't you know Ashen Theory came out in 2014? And it was all in 3D and everything. Well, yeah. Ashen Theory, the whole edit was 3D. None of it was Call of Duty footage. It was amazing. It was awesome. I get it. But I enjoyed Clockwork 3 more, and I just think I enjoyed it more to the point where it is my favorite edit of 2014. So Nikki HD, she really only does PC edits, but she takes these to a crazy new level with how she combines her amazing 3D work with the PC configs and everything like that to just come together beautifully. And this edit is no exception. It was just the perfect combination of just incredibly clean syncing and styling and amazing 3D work, and it just went to a whole new level at the time that no edit I don't think has ever gone to. So some of my favorite parts of this edit, there's this whole kind of like weird resurrection theme behind this thing. I remember when she was actually coming out with this, I wasn't aware of it at the time, but I was looking back. And she had this whole kind of like plan for this kind of story behind what she wanted to do for Clockwork 3. And then she had completely scrapped the idea and then came up with what the Clockwork 3 now that we know as for the idea for the Clockwork 3. So it was something else that she dished out instead of her original idea, but it turned out amazingly. Some of the cool things she did in this is, like I said, for Phase Feek's finale edit, she does PC for most of her gameplays and cinematics, well, all of them to be honest, but the most vivid part of this edit was one of the parts that really showed off her skills with the PC configs, and that was that one scene on Hijacked, which you'll see if you watch the edit down below. It's kind of towards the end, but she kills a guy and the guy falls over, and then immediately these lights on the edges of all the parts on Hijacked start lighting up. And then you see them reflecting on the gun and everything. It's just so beautiful looking. And that's actual Call of Duty footage that's there. That's not her making 3D stuff. That's actual Call of Duty footage. But the lights are kind of edited in. But the lights underneath the gun and stuff, that's all PC configs. And that just blew my mind when I first saw this edit, because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, how the fuck does she do that? And then the crazy thing at the end where the airplane or whatever just crashes into the ship. It's just absolutely insane. And this edit, it kind of has this underlying story about resurrection. And it has a whole sequence where you see all this kind of DNA type stuff, and then the thing going into the skull, and then the sniper comes out with the skull and the burning stuff, and he hits the trick shot, and then this huge explosion happens on Carrier. And gosh, I could go on for days and days and days about this edit. And the song was really good too. The song was by Skillet. Oh god, I can't remember the name of the song right now. Hero by Skillet, and it was a remix of it. Can't remember what remix, but it was amazing. This edit just came together amazingly. Like I said, the 3D work was crazy, the PC work was crazy, just everything was absolutely insane with this edit, and it just all came together so cleanly and so perfectly that Nikki is probably one of the best Call of Duty editors we will ever see. And that's why this edit is #1 as my favorite edit of 2014. So, there you guys have it. Those are my favorite edits of 2014. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check down the description below to find all the links to these edits so you can watch them yourself. And also leave a comment letting me know which ones you thought were your favorite of 2014. There's a ton of edits that came out this year. So, I really want to see which ones you guys like the most. I know every person has their own favorite edits, and I'd just really be interested to see what you guys think. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it and subscribe if you are new to this channel. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me. I know I'm about to hit 1.2K soon, so thank you in ahead for that, and I will see you guys later. Zant out.